everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Absolutely Pickle, the most amazing podcast on the internet at the moment. Okay, Lee, we have another fabulous guest, and I really butchered the intro last week, so you're going to do it like you should every week. And so please could you introduce our fabulous guest this week?
Absolutely. Our esteemed guest and I go way back to the 1990s. We met in a jail cell in Mexico and formed a fast friendship. And just like you and me, Penn, we separated after a while because of where we were. And I found him again on the pickleball court, and in a random court in a random like 7-Eleven parking lot. But amazing tennis player, amazing pickleball player, accomplished businessman. I would say accomplished dad, but he's like 9 weeks in.
Yeah,
so we're not quite sure there. But
jury's still out on that one.
I know, yeah, no, he's a wonderful friend, and please welcome the formidable Scott Doerner.
Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thanks, Aaliyah. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to get in trouble with you guys.
Yeah. Now, here's a fun fact. Turns out me and Scott were chatting. This is the first time we've met in person, not really, but visually. But we were on the phone. Turns out I know his wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because we were chatting, and your lovely wife, Anna, and I used to play against one another on tennis court back in the day when I still had my sticks in my hand. Lee told me about 2 years ago, she goes, Penn, hang them up. It's pickleball. Like, hang your sticks up. No point in trying that anymore. And but anyway, we had some serious battles. She's a very tall, tall glass of water. Yeah. So they're going to have very tall children. And so let's talk about that, Scott. You apparently are a new dad. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, all credit to my wife. I didn't really do much.
Well, you slipped one past the goal. You did that.
It was an accidental cough while in a compromised position. But no, yeah. My wife's the secret weapon, actually. She's a lefty. She played tennis in college, and she's tall. Hasn't been on the pickleball court much. She still loves her tennis, but that's my plan, is to slowly kind of get her on the court, because I think that could be a pretty dangerous weapon. But yeah, we do have a new addition to our family. Freya is our daughter. She was born February 10th, so she's going on 10 weeks, and yeah, we're already kind of dangling wiffle balls above the crib and all that.
Yeah, she got one of those wiffle ball.
Yeah, she's seeing it, tracking, working on ball tracking.
Excellent. Lee's all about that, by the way.
Yeah, hand speed. Mate, I'm trying to go lefty. I don't know, Lee, because Anna's lefty too, but the right hand squeeze is just really strong at the moment.
But if they're going to play mother-daughter tournaments, then she probably should be a righty, because then it's 2 forehands middle, right? But I think that you starting your daughter off in pickleball is sort of the gateway drug to your wife playing pickleball, because I think your daughter will be able to pick up pickleball a lot easier than tennis. And then now she's hooked, because now Freya loves it. And what's she going to do? Not do something Freya loves? Then she will not get Mother of the Year award. So
she'll guilt her to death. So she
All right, backing up. How did you guys meet? Not you and your daughter, you and your wife.
My wife, and geez, it was actually a blind date. Like, those actually exist. So back in the 1800s we met, and no, actually I was coaching I was a women's coach at Pepperdine college team, and I on the side I taught some of the the community in Malibu, and I had a group of gals that were kind of like 5-0 ex-college players.
Yeah.
And they were playing the USTA leagues.
Yeah. It's your fault she kicked my ass then.
Yeah, and so I was like whacking them. They were my favorite lesson, and they were like, we'd go for a drink after, and they'd say, Scott, this tall gal just moved here. And I was like, oh, another tennis girl to break my heart. But so anyway, I called her up and chatted, gave her the accent, and she was hooked ever since.
There you go. Nice. And okay, so we now need to dip into what is your pickleball journey? Obviously, we have various people on, and a lot of us, Lee and I both have a tennis background. You have a tennis background. So, what is your background? Give us a quick kind of background on you, elevator speech, and
Mm.
then how did you get into pickleball?
Oh yeah, so I'm an Aussie. My parents played, in the golden generation and played Wimbledon and all that good stuff. They actually got married at Wimbledon, fun fact.
No way.
Yeah, kind of nerdy. I mean, the dinner table was all about tennis. Still to this
Yeah.
day, they talk about, Borg and blah 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 blah. So,
Oh, I met Bjorn
um,
Borg. I have a
yeah,
Bjorn Borg story. In fact, I have two Bjorn Borg stories for you. We'll come to that.
okay. Um, so yeah, so obviously, tennis. Came over here for college. Played had a lovely, just awesome time in college. Um,
Where at?
at Pepperdine. So I
Okay.
played at Pepperdine. We won the national championship in 2006. We beat Georgia. Um,
Nice.
I played John Isner in the final, lost,
Oh,
but won my doubles match, which was pivotal. So
yes,
Right?
anyway, that was cool.
obviously.
My teammates backed me up. Loved college. Played a little bit pro. Did okay. Had a few elbow surgeries. You do the whole tennis coaching thing.
Yeah.
Ran my own business, and then of course pickleball started to come in. Hated it. Just thought it was so lame. Of course, right?
We all
What is
did.
this? Watching it, it's just boring on TV. And to be honest, I played like most people, started in COVID.
Yep.
And Wes Burrows and Sam Querrey, kind of, we would play together and mess around, and Doug Ellen, the celebrities in LA.
Yep.
And I just was like, God, this sport is interesting, but I hate it. But why am I coming back to play again? And
Yeah.
so it was kind of like that. But I mean, I hated it, but I kind of loved it secretly. And I think I stuck with it for a while, and then gradually understood that it's not tennis, that I got to put my ego away,
Yep.
and kind of started to find that it was a daily or every second day as part of a workout and a sweat,
Yep.
and it was a
Yep.
lot social, and you could play with older, younger people, and they
Yep.
could hold the paddle like a total idiot,
More
and
on.
yep, and I'm like, how are they beating me? And
Yep.
don't they know who I
Don't
think I am? And
underestimate Betty, 75-year-old Betty with a
yep,
knee brace, because she's going to kick
yep.
your ass.
So I kind of just lived in that world for a while, and then thought I'd play a few tournaments, because I was like, I'm gonna roast all these young punks that played like D2 tennis and they suck, and I'm that good, because don't they know who I am?
Right.
And kind of, but through that, I really started to see the social aspect, and then how the tournaments were, just people loving the sport, and obviously for me intellectually, I really enjoy the layers of the game,
Yeah.
the strategy and just the different spins. So I'm big time into that, and then of course, somehow I got drafted to MLP because I just faked it. I had a few good results, and then I think Lee kind of, forced Tim Klitsch to pick me. Um, and so yeah, so that's how we met, and now we're talking today.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. Good
Yeah.
story.
Like we needed a complete international team, and we were going through the roster, and I was like, we need an international. We can't have an American on our team. That's basically what it was,
Yeah.
you know. And yours were the first one. AU came up first. AUS. So we're like, okay, we'll take him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good.
No, that's not. No. It was definitely a very good pick, and we had a lot of laughs and gelled as a team. And if we were mic'd up on the bench, it would be terrible, because every time we went to a dream breaker, the conversations got worse and worse.
Now, what's the success rate of you two playing together? And who
We
takes
are undefeated.
who takes middle?
We're undefeated.
Are you
Scott would
really?
take middle all day long. Yeah, we're undefeated. We've never played together. But we've never lost to anyone either. So, but Scott would take middle because he's so bouncy on the court that, you know, like his movements is very.
Well, James Ignanowicz is bouncy. Are you as bouncy as him?
No. That's the difference.
He's annoying bouncy.
Like Scott is like more like, oh, what's he gonna do?
Yeah,
like that's his movement.
He's reading it. He's reading.
I don't know, Lee. There was a
crafty.
There was a point that you played at Daytona Beach with Pat, and you know, being the German cyborg, he was just swinging the middle with his you know, Winter Soldier forehand and whacking it, and the ball kept coming back, and then finally, I think you got to hit one, and you just kind of tapped it away, and you were like,
"That's how you do it,
honey. Send a woman to do this work."
Yes,
and it was classic.
You dig the garden, I'll plant the roses. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, this is how you do it. She makes it so easy.
I tell you what, though, but it's funny because, like, yes, we've come full circle. Here we are. And for our 25 listeners, like, we did not meet in a Mexican prison. I was joking.
Shocking.
It was a Russian prison.
Yeah. You wouldn't be here if it was a Russian prison.
Exactly. No, but it's funny because, like, we even though we all have tennis backgrounds and stuff, like, I don't think Scott and I would have met, or our paths would have crossed if it wasn't for pickleball. And it's interesting how we have so many common friends. And
do you mean common as in the, you know, that they can't come to tea with the Queen, or you just mean common as in mutually you have friends?
Both.
Okay, cool.
But so friends in common, then, not common.
There you go. Because, you know, I got some common friends that I wouldn't invite, you know.
No, but it's like you meet each other and you talk and you learn a little bit about each other, and you're like, oh, and this person, I'm like, oh, I'm friends with them, and I'm friends, and it's interesting how sort of it re-intersects everybody again, and the plastic ball has done this, right? Which is always baffling to me.
Mm-hmm.
There she goes again, Scott. She says plastic. I say plastic. What do you say?
Yeah, plastic.
Plastic. I don't know what this plastic. The Gibraltar accent.
Well, it's kind of weird, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't. I try and get her back on the English kilt, but I can't get her off of plastic. Which
that paella just keeps dragging her back, you know.
Every freaking time. Yeah.
All
right.
Do you need a plaster?
Plaster. Well, it's plaster. It's a plaster on your arm, right?
Yeah, so then it's
plaster, but it's a plastic ball. Anyway, we're not going to waste podcast time having this argument again. Okay, so can we talk, Scott, about what you are doing? Very exciting, and we know a little bit, and you can tell us. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a secret, but I know. Tell us what you're allowed to tell us. Obviously, we'd love the exclusive, but tell us what you're allowed to tell us about what you're up to right now in actually my neck of the woods.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm in Los Angeles, Penny as well. El Segundo, the Gundo.
The Gundo. It's called the Gundo to the locals.
I can't believe people call it that. It's kind of.
Oh no, it's good.
But how did that name stick? Like, how did they go El Segundo?
No, we're trying to be radical. Like, look at us. We've got like disrupt.
I know, but El Segundo means second, so you could have come up with 2E or something. No,
Gundo.
Like, no,
Gundo. Here we go, Gundo. Here we go. That's the whole
it doesn't. It's an effort.
Yeah, I'm struggling with it.
Stay
with
it. Just embrace it. Don't argue. Just embrace it. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
So about 8 years ago, I was lucky enough to go to the Chicken and Pickle in the first one, in Kansas City, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the last 10 years I've been in commercial real estate, primarily like selling Chick-fil-A's, McDonald's, you know, CVS deals. So I'm always driving and my wife's yelling at me, stop looking, because I just like where things are positioned, access, traffic counts, nerding out on real estate. So I guess I've always had my eye out for a facility, right, where you can integrate some of the real estate component, but obviously with pickleball. And we've found a site in El Segundo, and I'm super pumped about it. So I'm partnering in it, and we're talking about, to me running it. So it's a 9-court facility, and it's right near the Top Golf in El Segundo. And for those who aren't familiar, it's right near LAX. I think that the LA Chargers are
Yep.
building a big sports
The
facility around
training
there,
facility is.
training facility.
Yep. Yep.
The LA Kings, likewise. There's a bunch of hotels around there.
Acres.
The LA Lakers. So I think they're calling it like the area of champions or something. But as this area builds,
Which is why I live there, Scott. I
right.
mean,
It's
hello.
well,
The first champion to arrive was me.
That's right. You were the OG. I'm an import. I just moved 6 months ago here, but it's just, there's the public facilities are great here, but there's not that many, and they're
No.
packed. And so this is going to be open to the public. We have a full food and beverage license in the works. So we've got like a whole mezzanine level DJ stuff, bocce, indoor outdoor bar. I mean, it's going to be kick-ass.
Epic, man.
That question, my question for you is, how long of a layover do I need to have at LAX to be able to come play before I get on my next flight? Because that's a selling point with delays and whatnot,
I'm going to tell you right now.
I mean, I know, I've thought about it. I'd say if you had a 2.5-hour delay, you could sneak over for an hour easy.
Easy.
And I would feel, I'm not like pushing it. I'd feel comfortable that you could do it, because it's literally a 3-minute Uber.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really
You could walk.
close.
Right, but like why walk?
But it's a quick ride.
Yeah.
5 minutes
walking
max.
Will cut into your pickleball time.
That's true.
I mean,
we'll send a shuttle to pick you up, Lee.
There you go.
There you go. And so, are we allowed to say what it's going to be called?
Gundo.
Yeah, California Smash.
So there should be a California Smash shuttle at the airport. In fact, I'll get my husband to drive it. He's dying to retire, and he's got these 3 ideas. He's either going to be the sports reporter in El Segundo, like reporting on all the local sports, and take photos, or he said he was thinking about Uber, and he's like, no. And then he said, maybe I'll be one of those shuttle drivers for the airports. Maybe he could be California Smash shuttle driver.
Yes.
And then you'll see it's like driving through LA, and then flying through LAX, layover in LAX, secretly hoping for a delay so I can jump over to California Smash and play pickleball. And then you'll see text like, yes, managed it. And the other people like, oh, so bummed my flight was on time.
That is, I mean, mate, I am so excited. So do we have an idea on timing? How's it going? And by the way, if I'm allowed to come and have an inside tour anytime.
Oh yeah, for sure, Penny. You'll be VIP. We're targeting at this moment. The landlord's doing some work. We get it. We kind of get the keys per se mid May. Let's call it early June. So we're hoping to do a soft launch maybe mid-September.
Perfect.
So mid-September, early October open. So yeah. I mean, no wind. It's a thing.
Oh my God, it's been a nightmare. And this spring has been so wet here that no one can cope, because we can't cope with rain.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, wind is a thing. Like, not like, I mean, it's not like I'm the one person now that it's like over 6 miles an hour. I'm like, I'm not playing.
Yeah, I know. We chatted about this before. Even Penny, I stupidly went to the park yesterday at 4 p.m. to try to play. And I mean, it's the wind's blowing off the ocean. It's beautiful, but it's that much where it's like, it's not even fun. I'm hitting it short every time. I want to like throw my paddle.
And it's like, I'll play a tournament. I'll play a tournament in the wind. But I won't. I don't ask me to go spend 2 hours training in the wind, because that's just boring. That's just frustrating, boring, and I'm.
Well, and also like you're trying to play these third shot drops, which normally would be killer, and they're not making it to the net, or they're hitting the top of the tape, and you're like, that's a great shot. So then you're basically training poorly, because then when it's not windy, that is going to be too long. You know what I mean? So. We were struggling that day.
Well, and also for a tournament, right? I have an issue with the fact that when it's windy, my win or loss should not be predicated on a coin toss. Because if you and Scott are playing me and Finn, and we lose the coin toss and you win, and it's a really windy day, and you pick the right side to start, we're screwed if it goes because it's going to go to game 3. So you're going to end up.
You're
on the
screwed
good side.
because you're playing with my husband. That's
well,
why you're screwed.
Yes, but you know, sometimes like you know,
totally gotcha.
Poor Finn. But you know, because in game 3 we switch at 6. But if we're switching at 6, we should switch at 12, and we should switch at 18, and we should switch at 24. Correct. And keep it going to make it fair, right? Or not fair, but more equally based, because otherwise, I mean, I remember watching a friend of mine playing at the US Open, I think it was 2 years ago. It was senior pro mixed, and it was Scott Fliegermüller and Jane Paulson playing Cammy McGregor and Mills Miller. Jane and Scott went 8-0 up in the first game. Changed sides, they didn't win a point.
Yeah,
the wind was that bad, right? And it does affect a plastic ball too. I mean, if it affects a tennis ball, it's going to affect a plastic ball. So like, that's my issue. So I'm like, I was never a fan of indoor, but since pickleball, I'm like, you cannot pay me enough to stay indoors.
You know what's funny? So, you know, prior to this, and I did actually play tennis on Wednesday with this crew that we call ourselves the band. We're like, get the band back together, and we just play now socially. But we don't play very often. But it was like there's a bit of wind, right? But in tennis, I mean, Lee and I played. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but Lee and I played, and we had to play regionals up in Norfolk. There was a freaking gale force wind coming across the courts, right? We were at Norwich University. I don't know if you ever played there, mate. This is where regionals was when I was there. And there's like 6 courts and 6 courts, and you really wanted to be on the bottom court because the wind, all the balls were going that way. So everybody up that way is like, ball, and the people down that end are just sending them, and we're playing in a massive crosswind. So I just chuckle when these soft Californians go, oh my God, my toss is off. It's so windy. And I'm like, it's not fucking windy. Can I just tell you? It's
That's not wind. This is wind.
You want to know wind? Go to Norfolk. But in pickleball, massively impactful because
well, and to Lee's point, the coin toss determines it so much. And a real quick little, I think one of my first tournament I played in Dallas, and it was Frank Anthony David was just cat and mousing me and pickling me. But the wind was coming across the court so strong that we basically played in half the court.
Yeah.
Because I would stand on one side because you can't hit it to the other. I'm like, please hit it there. The wind's going to take it out.
Yeah.
And so he's doing the same. So we're basically like, I'm hitting this ball
skinny
wide.
Singles.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was nuts. And I'm thinking, God, this, I mean, that's obviously the game, but plus a lot of the
this is a sales point for your
I'm just
No,
but I mean, we've all played in conditions where you're like, why am I out here? This is no longer fun. And let's face it, we play pickleball because it's fun and we like it, then it's enjoyable. But even in you're playing in some conditions where you're like, the social side of it is not even worth it at this point.
Nah.
You know, I'm like, can we just flip a coin? I don't care who wins, or we'll rock, paper, scissors, and let's go have a beer because this is stupid.
The ball is too light to handle.
And as an instructor too, like from an instructor standpoint, right? It's no fun
like you can't even give
somebody in the wind because the wind is different every time. And you're teaching them just incorrect because now they're just trying to get the ball over, and it's just like,
and they feel like they're failing. They feel like they're failing because the ball's falling away from them. It's like, no, mate, it's just I gotta perfectly feed you a ball, accounting for the wind so that you can get that feel of whatever you're trying to hit, and feel and get success, which is what beginners need. So
I mean, I think snipers will be the only people who can play the wind perfectly because they have to account for that in their profession, right? So they might be really good windy pickleball players.
Maybe we'll have to see if there's any snipers out there that want to take up the game. Okay, we're going to jump right in because we've just had a lovely chat. And of course, we knew we were going to, but we're going to jump now into what we call our Dear AP section, Scott. So I always explain this to guests, but you know how a magazine has Dear Abby, and they write in and Abby responds and gives them their advice. Well, Lee is our Abby. So we call it Dear AP. And then when we have a lovely guest on with us, we also let you weigh in on what you think the answers to these questions are. So it's just 2 questions. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for Dear AP. Okay, here we go. Question number 1 is from Steve from Dallas, Texas. And he says, my partner and I watched a YouTube video, first mistake or not, where a guy explains that when you're both up at the kitchen, whoever is cross court from the ball should take middle, and their partner's only job is to cover the line, even when it's your backhand in the middle. Do you agree with this strategy, Lee, or is it just for better players than us? We play at the 3-5 level. Do you understand the question?
I really want to rip on Steve from Texas.
Go for it.
But I can't because he's 3-5 and, you know, we love the 3-5 players.
We love them.
Look, yes, a rule of thumb is cross court takes middle. And that way you have your roles on the court, and it doesn't matter. It's like, yes, I'm left-handed, Scott's right-handed. If we were playing together and stacking, both our forehands would be in the middle. But if we, for some reason, I hit a crap return, which is more often than not, and we're unable to unwind, then we're going to have both backhands in the middle. So whose ball is it, right? So you want to go with cross court takes middle, unless the one person sees it early and can go for it. But you typically want to have those roles established so that there's no over poaching and overplaying, because that's when, you know, at the rec level, it can become unfun when somebody tries to overplay their game because they saw somebody do it. You know, like if I'm 3-5 and I'm like, but I saw Scott poach the ball, you know, on YouTube, and I'm like, but you're not Scott, so, you know, shove over. You've got one leg, one eye, and a fake knee, Betty. So slide. Yeah. But you know, so I think cross court takes middle is a good basic rule to follow.
Okay, would you agree, Scott?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of different. I mean, if for example, I'm cross court from the ball and my partner is Lee, who's a lefty, and she just intercepts it and whacks it, I'm not going to say, hey, stay on your side. Or conversely, if my partner in front of the ball has got a great backhand out of the air, I mean, if they're going to hit it and make it, great. Yes. Do they maybe have to kind of follow the ball and protect the line? Yeah. But if the ball's low and they read the play and get away with it, great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things.
It also depends if there's, I mean, at 3-5 level, there's obviously a lot of times lopsidedness with who's better than who. Do you know what I mean? So if the better player has the backhand or if the worst player has the backhand in the middle and the better player could take it, they might, you know what I mean? But I think it's just something that there's such confusion, and they all go, was that yours? Was that mine? You know, and I tell my lot, I love a clash of paddles in the middle, because it means you're both covering it, you know, and one or other of you hopefully will get it. But like, I don't want either of you not. And it happens more in women's than men's, because the women are like, no, you take it. No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're all polite. And I'm like, don't be polite. Don't cross your legs. Don't be polite.
Yeah, but I think if you're starting out, it's a good rule. It is just follow those X patterns and follow that, so that you know where you're supposed to be. And then if you see it and you can poach, is one thing. But like, nobody likes the Joe who comes over all the time. Yeah. Right. And it's like, oh, it's my forehand, it's my ball. And I'm like, well, at some point, like, any backhand I hit is your forehand. So when do you stop hitting that ball? Right. They tend to overplay, because they've seen pro mix and they don't really understand the nuances of why the guy sometimes overplays. Like, there's an intentional move behind it, right? So I think I don't know. Yeah.
I would say this: if you're the John boys, they have a specific strategy on whose ball's who. At the 3-5 level, you have a different partner every single set.
Yes.
So yes, it's kind of a rule of thumb, but you know, everybody has different strengths and weaknesses, and, you know, just chill out. And if you hit the forehand and it's good, great. If someone's a lefty, great. But just, you know,
Have fun.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. Well, there you go, Steve from Dallas. Just chew on that for a while and see if you can figure it out. But that is what we have to say on that question. And now question number 2 comes from Patty in Sacramento, and she writes,
God.
yeah, and bless, be nicely. What's the most important shot to work on as a 2.5 player?
Tying your shoelaces correctly.
There it is. There it is. This is what happens. Poor Patty from Sacramento is looking for feedback, and all he can do is tell her to tie her shoelaces. I don't know what.
I mean, she's a 2-5 player, right? What
She's
do you
trying
think
to get better. Be nice.
bless her cotton socks.
Yes.
I mean,
What would you do? Patty showed up, and
she wants to obviously play, right?
yeah.
She's got to be able to serve. She's got to be able to return.
Okay.
Because that's the first 2 shots.
Okay.
And then she can figure out the rest.
Yeah.
So if she walked into APHQ right now and said, Lee, I'm 2.5, I'd like to get up to 3.0. What should I work on? What would you do? Would you look at everything?
I'd say you put the GPS wrong in the map. The AP instructor that works with 2.5s is in El Segundo, California.
Yeah, that's me. Actually,
please go to Orlando.
Send it my way. I'll take care of Patty.
No,
I mean, Patty playing 4.0 pickleball before you know it.
Honestly, it's ball tracking, and can they see the ball, and what are they doing, and like what's their hand-eye coordination, what's their skill level at the different shots, and then you figure it out. But you know,
it's a tough question as well, because I do teach. Yeah, I have a 2.5 plus round robin group that I teach on a Tuesday morning, and all of them have different issues. You know, I got women running onto the ball and then hitting it behind them because they're not keeping the ball in front. I got women dumping the volley because they're breaking their wrists. And I'm like,
listen, they might be listening to this podcast. I think
no, I love them. They know this. They know this. I told them that's what we work on.
Okay.
I've got one girl, Gay, who she's fantastic, and she loves her serve. It is borderline illegal, and she kind of does this, and I'm like, is that below your waist, Gay? Is it?
She just has to have her belly button surgically altered and just pulled up a bit.
It zings out wide, and she wins so many cheap points, and I'm like, so long as it's below your waist, Gay, but you know, you're getting away with murder there. But she will not change it, and I'm like, I'm not going to change it for her. I'm like, mate, that works for you. I don't care. But the others, you know, anyway. So it's a bit of a smorgasbord. Yes. Of not problems, of nuances you have to work on with 2.5. So all right, Patty, well, just come see me. Ignore Lee. I'll take care of you, babe.
No, and Scott, I mean, Scott's a great cheerleader and motivator. I'm sort of the jaded one, but I think the two of you are more like, no, you can do this, and I'm like, well, what's your problem?
I am positive Peter for sure.
Yeah, same here, mate.
I think depending on that one, I think having self-awareness as a new player is huge, because you know, everyone's got their different skill sets. And if you have self-awareness of like what you can do, what you like to do, and what others are doing. I mean, there's like the best teacher is the game itself and other people in your group.
Yes.
So I always tell people, you know, like, don't think about your game all the time. What is the other person doing that makes you uncomfortable? Oh, I don't know. Well, like maybe mirror a little bit some of the things they're doing, and that can add to your skill set. But having the self-awareness to understand some of the things you do well and some of the things that other people do well can maybe add into your game.
Yeah, I love it. The game and the people you're playing. I'm stealing it.
But here's the thing, and we've all been there because we've come from tennis and we've been playing for a while now, so we know. But it's how often do you get, well, I was a 4-5 tennis player, so obviously I'm at least a 4-5 in pickleball, right? Like you hear that all the time, and they're just not self-aware of themselves and nuances of the game and everything, right? And if if that comes in with somebody with athletic ability, then it's going to trickle in with somebody who doesn't maybe not have the athletic ability because they don't know. And I think the hardest thing, and I will say this every single time, is as an adult, the hardest thing to do is not be so self-conscious because you don't want to look like an idiot on the court. Right? And I think in general, a 2-5, if they have no athletic ability, they're so self-conscious about everything they're doing, and they don't want to feel like a fool. And it's our job to encourage, to help, to coach, to motivate, to get them to where we need to get them to, so that they feel comfortable on the court.
Oh, look at you!
Wow.
No, I mean,
This is a new.
My God.
I know.
I know. Like we're both scratching our heads. Like, who the frick just
like
showed up? I've never heard anything
gold,
like this before.
God, she's winning gold medals now, and she's like positive, and just
I'm like a guru now. I'm like,
oh my
wow.
God! I don't want Zen Lee. I want like grouchy, pissed off Lee.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who this chick is. I don't know who it is. I apparently some gremlins got into the system, and Lee's.
Sorry, I was glitching for a minute.
You were. Yeah.
Reprogram the chip.
She's malfunctioning. All right.
Sorry, Patty, you suck, and I can't.
Yeah.
There you go, Scott.
There we go. And she's back. Okay,
The
good.
universe is right.
All right, mate. We've got a little bit of time left. So now the most fun part of the whole podcast is our AP questionnaire, where we have random silly questions we're going to ask you. And the first thing that pops into your head, mate, you answer. It doesn't have to be pickleball related. It can be whatever. And I have added 2 questions, Lee. So it used to be 8 and now it's 10.
Oh, I've never heard them.
I know. I just decided because I think it was something came up today and I thought that's a good question. Okay, so here we go. Scott Doerner, what is your favorite word?
Muppet.
Muppet! Yes! There we have it. We haven't had that one yet, and that's fantastic. Okay, least favorite word.
I don't like the word. My wife calls the dummy, the pacifier, a binky.
Yes,
I'm
like, so with you. It's a fucking dummy.
Yeah,
because it makes them dumb. But my God, did it save me with a second kid? So I can't slag it off because I should have given the first one.
Yeah.
Should have plugged the first one, but I definitely plugged the second one and it was a lifesaver. But yeah, binky. Ugh. Gross. Okay. Noise that you love to hear.
I like the sound of rain when you're falling asleep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
New dad didn't go with his daughter's laugh.
Well, she's not there yet.
She's like squealing. She's squealing and farting. So yeah.
Yeah.
Go with
Yeah. What noise, on the flip side, do you hate? And I have it right now. Can I just tell you? Fucking leaf blowers follow me around the world. Wherever I am, there's a bloody leaf blower, and there's one right outside right now. It's like, it's uncanny. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, that one. Also, what like kind of hits the amygdala is that like when a like ambulance or something goes by you, and it's like,
ooh, somebody's not okay.
Yeah, well,
but the sound makes you not.
The sound pisses me off. Like that person better be, close to death, or like I'm dealing with it.
Gotcha.
Like,
it's not about them, it's about you. No. Okay.
Well, that person better be worth the siren.
I think they just turn it on for fun, but there we go. Okay, if you weren't in the commercial real estate / pro pickleball, all that you have accomplished in your short life, because you look like a youngster. I mean, you're not going grey yet. What profession would you like to attempt? And it has to be something you've never tried, mate.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Never tried. I kind of feel like it would be cool to be an anesthesiologist.
Oh.
Like a dark one, like
Like,
Let's give them a
no,
little
like,
bit more than we should.
You need some explanation here.
well, I mean, these guys make bank,
Yes,
and
they do.
I mean, they kind of, you know, it's life or death. I mean, they give you they administer the wrong dose,
Yeah, they could
you
kill
know.
you.
So I kind of feel like there's a responsibility there that they need to know their shit, and the ones that do a really good job, it's kind of like you're almost you know, I don't know, you like a lifesaver, you make people
Wow.
comfortable. Yeah, because I've never done it. I mean, I would have said another as professional golfer, but I already, you know, basically am. Not really. I think I am.
What'd you
And
play
You
on?
walk like one, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
yeah,
Hey. I love me some good anesthesia. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
A
allergic to
few
it.
ops, and I've had a few ops in my time, and there's a few ops, and every time I wake up, I'm like, oh my God, is that what it's like to have a good night's sleep?
See,
right.
Oh,
I'm allergic to it, so I get
oh,
deathly ill.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. See, that's what I mean. It's like you don't want to have the wrong person with you, Lee. You have to,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, when they say,
Really?
"Hey, we're gonna have to knock you out," and I'm like, "Please don't." Like,
Uh,
can I just bite on a piece of wood? It'll be fine.
Yeah.
yeah, give us some whiskey. We'll go old school. We'll go old school. Just have a bite down on this piece of leather. Okay, what profession on the flip side, Scott, would you absolutely, under no circumstances, wish to attempt?
God. Um, I probably something to do with like I just had a couple of months ago we had rats in our ceiling, and
Oh
so
yeah, I've
we
been
had to
there.
get our insulation all cleaned out, and those guys had hazmat suits on, and they were grinding in that literal shit, and I mean they did an awesome job. I'm like, that is a hard day's work.
Yeah. It's like
So,
dirty jobs guy, you know, yeah.
oh
Ugh, that's no fun at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
And when they get them, by the way, we've had them, but they're gone now. But I've got two grown boys and a husband, all of whom are afraid of rodents. So I'm up there trapping these buggers, and when you get them, if you don't get them quick enough, they stink.
They stink. Yeah, they
Oh,
die. Yeah.
anyway, okay, good answer. All right, favorite curse word.
Oh, I mean,
Is there an Aussie one? See,
uh,
I give it bollocks occasionally, but is there an Aussie one?
yeah, it's we say fuckwit, like you're a fuckwit. Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
I mean, there's another word in there that's like basically banned in America, but you know,
Yes, no, I know it. I know it.
Yeah.
that one's a good one. We call each other that. Like it's almost it's a bad word, but we call each other that as a term of endearment.
Yes, you
That, you
stupid
know,
twat.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there you
So
go. See, I just said it. Okay, was that the one you were thinking of?
it
Or was it the other one?
the
The C one?
CUNT
Oh, the
word.
C one.
Yeah,
Yeah, the C one. Okay.
See you next Tuesday.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, here's the new question.
Okay.
What personality trait in others do you hate the most?
God, these are so deep. Like,
I know.
where are you
Right?
getting these
They
from?
dig deep, man.
Um,
If there's something that you like the person, but there's one thing that's like their one personality trait, just all. But what is the personality trait? As soon as you see it, you're like, "Fuck, I don't like that
you know,
person."
I really dislike selfishness.
There we go. There we go. Yep, I'm with you. Which basically means I probably shouldn't have married my husband, but there we go.
Ooh.
Oh no, he knows. Only child. Totally selfish. Personality trait that you love and that attracts you to somebody.
I think when somebody, I mean, I guess, when somebody has a big smile, I mean, it's kind of not a personality trait, but it's just like maybe a zest for life. Someone who's got a little fizz, a little energy, a little
Yeah.
positivity. That's kind of a nice, attractive
I
quality.
love it. Oh, I hope.
But too much of it is like, now you're not real.
Too
Well,
much
There's
of it,
that
yeah.
line, right?
Yeah, I mean, if your lips are cracking at smiling, that's fake.
yeah, that's fake.
Yeah.
When you've got teeth as big as mine, mate, you have to have a nice smile. My mother's always like, you got to smile because those teeth. Otherwise, it's not pretty. Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like God to say when you reach the pearly gates?
Oh. Here lay Scott Doerner. Never bowled a gutter ball.
Never
Never bowled a gutter ball.
bowled a gutter ball. So
In bowling,
bowling
I've never
came
bowled
in.
one.
Did you have those barriers up though?
No, mate, you can't. I've never bowled a gutter ball. Pure every time.
That
Challenge
is
accepted.
amazing. Wow. Wow. Well,
You like that
he's
one?
on my team if we ever go bowling then.
Come on.
Right?
Let's go.
I was thinking, I'm like, let's go down your dating history. You're like, oh, that's a gutter ball.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
I don't know.
That is the most unexpected answer we've had so
random,
far.
Yeah, but it's a good tombstone thing though. Think about it.
Yeah.
Never
My
bowled a gutter
tombstone.
ball. It's pretty damn good. Like he must be all right.
Yeah, he must be all right. He's, he strikes them out. Wow, that's amazing. My husband thinks my tombstone should say, "I'll show you," or what's the other one he said? Like, he knows that, like, if you dare me to do something, I'm gonna do it, right? And if you tell me I can't do it, fuck you, I'm gonna do it, right? But if you think I can do it, I probably will fail miserably. Anyway, well, that wraps up the AP questionnaire. Very well done, Scott Doerner. You did excellent work. What we normally do now is punch it over to Lee to say, what else would we like to ask our lovely guest?
Absolutely. So, we have some avid listeners who like to stalk our guests. So where can they find you on social? Where can they find out about California Smash? All of that stuff. Where can we send them to you?
What do you want to tell us?
Actually,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been off social media for like 3 years now. It's kind of like not my thing.
Yeah.
But do you want to give out your home address, social security number?
I mean, email, call me out. It's like it's on Google, but the Smash stuff's coming up.
Okay.
In the next month or so when we get things moving forward. But I mean, if you want to call me and
so maybe you could keep us updated, and if there's anything we can post on our site about Smash, and obviously I'd love an inside little look, and and I know there's other facilities where they're doing stuff on social and showing how it's progressing, but yours, you just kind of gonna
we'll have all that, like there's gonna be some I'm gonna hire a marketing person to do that. They can just follow me with a camera and I'll pretend to talk to them.
There you go. That's
when you have that, we'll just throw it up on our website too.
Thanks.
Absolutely. We'd love to promote it. Very excited to see what you got going on, and God knows there's a need, because there ain't enough pickleball courts and people are now fighting. In fact, by the way, mate, keep me first dibs, because there's people going to be coming to you going, "Oh yeah, I'll be your coach." I'm like, give me the beginners. Okay?
I know. I get you, Pen. Don't worry.
Thanks, mate. Because there's already, apparently, they were saying in the park now, there's this app, and I've forgotten what it is, but people are listing El Segundo Rec Park as their home, their home ground, and people are coming and
on like places to play or Pickleball Player.
Yeah, and then they're just cash in hand coaching there, and I could give it a rat's ass. I've got enough going on, but the lady that's in charge there, she's like, "I'm not having it," and so she throws them off. It's great. Fantastic. Anyway, well, very nice to have you on, Scott. Super nice to see you in person. Please tell Anna hi and give that Freya a big old squeeze from us. And we will keep in touch, and we will be back soon. So thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time. Lee, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from her.
Goodbye.